Okay, ho ho ho, it's not Christmas, but we're going to see examples of lines of symmetries with these shapes. So if you remember, lines of symmetry are lines that split a shape into two perfect halves. You can tell if they're lines if you fold them over. If you imagine folding the halves over on top of each other, if they match perfectly, then that was a line of symmetry. So if we look at these shapes, I marked some lines of symmetry here. So here we have like a triangle, right? If I were to cut this triangle in half, or even just try to fold it in half on that line, on that little black line right there, it would fit perfectly on top of the other one. That would make this line a line of symmetry. Let me cut that to show you. Okay, see, to cut it in half, fold it. If I put them on top of each other, whoa, since it is paper and I'm not a good drawer, I'm not perfect at cutting things out, but they do fit on top of each other nearly perfectly. This is a line of symmetry. If I were to fold this heart on this line, if I were to fold this heart on this line, give me a second, let me pause this again. Again, they'd be identical to each other. See? They fit on top of each other perfectly whenever I fold them on that line. So that line is a line of symmetry because it cuts them into both halves, to two halves that are completely identical. So if I were to cut this square across this diagonal line, see this diagonal line, you can already tell that these halves are perfect. But if I were to cut this square on this diagonal line, if I cut them on this diagonal line and then rotate one just a little bit, and then put them up like this, you can see that they're both the same. They're both, the same. So that was the line of symmetry. If I were to fold this circle, I mean, obviously a circle. Any line that goes down the center of a circle is a line of symmetry for a circle, because a circle's even on all sides. It's a circle. Look at it. If I put a line like this, as long as it goes through the center of the circle, that line is a line of symmetry because it would split the circle into two completely identical halves. And look, we got this rectangle that goes across it like this instead of like this. If I were to cut this on this line, and I go like this, and I line them up like this, you can see that they're identical. They're identical halves. Right? They're identical halves. So that was a line of symmetry too. That line was a line of symmetry too, because it's split into two identical halves. And those are some examples of lines of symmetry.